how, but I'm telling you that ChatGPT, if you ask it that question, it'll give you a more intelligent answer than 99.9% of the
Hmm.
politicians in America.
Because I think I read it once that it was smarter than most humans. That's why I think I spend a lot of hours on
I think
ChatGPT
it's
on
smarter
other
than
day.
every human, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also because AI, because I tried diving into machine learning courses on Coursera. There's like guys teaching it, and they're saying like it can do what's called hallucinations, which are given answers that seem real but aren't actually real. So it's not infallible, but it's pretty useful,
Yeah,
I think.
but
Yeah,
okay, but
yeah.
again, I'm telling you, you're thinking too much. So that's like saying, oh yeah,
Mm.
AI can have hallucinations and give you inaccurate answers.
Mm.
Well, I hate to tell you, pal, but so can
Yeah.
humans, right? So if you went to
Yeah.
if you went
Yeah.
to a Republican politician in America and asked them, should I take
Mm.
Clorox to cure my COVID?
Yeah.
The Republican politicians would say, yeah, you should. Clorox is going to fix your COVID. Don't worry. You don't need to get vaccinated.
Mm.
Okay, well, I mean, that's pretty stupid and that's hallucination. You don't say, well, I'm going to stop
Mm.
listening to humans. So what's the
Yeah.
difference? I'm not saying you
Mm.
should believe anything from everything, including people, but you
Mm.
cannot say that, oh, AI had some hallucinations. I don't trust AI. I'm going to stick to
Yeah.
my human sources. I'm going to ask Donald Trump, how should I treat my COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, he says take Clorox. Oh, I'll take
Mm.
Clorox. Go ahead, drink some Clorox.
Yeah, it is pretty useful. And also, guess I guess I saw it, partially I saw it what you did you do venture capital for a very long time? Like
I
do
did.
you
I
recommend
did.
yeah, do you recommend that industry? Because I feel like everyone when I look at their profile, they're like very academically smart, like Oxford, Cambridge, that sort of background. And I went to someone called LSE for economics, but I sort of have the background, but I don't have the experience. Like, would you recommend this sort of industry? Like,
Nope. I do
no?
not recommend venture capital at all.
Oh,
I think that venture capital, if you become a venture capitalist, it should be
mm,
at the very end of your life. It should be
mm,
just before you die, actually.
mm,
I think that venture capital is to be a good venture capital. And by that, I mean that you really help your portfolio companies. You have to have a very deep and broad set of experiences so that
mm,
you know that, this is how companies work. These are the mistakes you make. This is how to prevent the mistakes you make. So
mm,
if you are young and you haven't really worked in any other industry, maybe you were a consultant for Accenture or McKinsey, and then
mm,
you work for, I don't know, Goldman Sachs, and now you say, okay, I want to be a venture capitalist
mm,
because they have Gulf streams and
mm.
everybody sucks up to them and everybody thinks venture capital is
Yeah,
cool, and I
yeah.
want to make I want to make this $1.5 million base salary with
Mm,
potential to make 50 million a year. I want to be a venture capitalist. And I want to take all my knowledge that I accumulated from McKinsey and Accenture and Goldman
mm.
Sachs. You don't know shit about
Yeah.
how the world really works.
Because I saw a classmate of mine, he's in venture capital at Sequoia, but like I don't know how the guy got in. Like he's only 1 year older than me, but that's why I'm asking. And then
Yeah,
also
but you
I
know
saw
what?
that,
I mean,
yeah.
right now he's carrying around some partner's bags and he's sucking up to that partner.
Mm,
And, that partner who probably has never run a company is like giving his opinions about, oh, this is how you make this work. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. And your friend
mm,
is picking all that up. And then if he sticks in that business, having never run anything, pretty soon he's going to be telling
mm,
entrepreneurs like you, oh, this is how you create a company. And if you were to
mm,
ask him, well, how do you know how to create a company? You say, I'm a venture
mm.
capitalist, and I went to
Uh,
Oxford and I worked for McKinsey and I went for
uh,
Sequoia. But, have you actually run a company? Have you
mm.
fired somebody? Have you hired somebody? Have you actually shipped the product? Or all you've been doing is like flying around in your private jet, sucking up? I mean, you really
So you
not, you know how I feel?
so you're saying it's like it's I don't really fully understand. It's sort of like a formal consulting by students who have good grades, right? That's basically. I'm not saying that's the entire industry, but yeah, I think I get a gist of what you're saying. Yeah,
I
yeah.
Basically, I mean, most of them have finance backgrounds, and a
Mm,
finance background is not the same as an operational background.
It's interesting because also because I listen to well like there's some guy called Naval and he always talks about like was it like to get rich you either do media or coding. Would you recommend software engineering then? Like
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
Mm,
you know, you you
mm,
cannot recommend a career
mm,
for people based
mm,
on how much money you'll make. I mean, it takes a
mm,
lot of other things. Like, are you interested? Like, if you're not interested in being a programmer, I'm not going to tell you to be a programmer.
mm,
And on the other hand, if you're interested in programming, I'm not going to tell you to be a marketer. So
mm.
it's a cross section of what you like to do, what you're good at doing, and what you can make money doing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not the same as, oh, I should go into software engineering because,
Mm,
seems like everybody makes money in that business.
mm. Yeah, that's because I'm teaching myself coding, but it's not like I wake up and I just want to stare at the code all day. But like I'm still trying. But um, I guess like because people say money is not happiness, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. But to be honest, like listening to podcasts doesn't really make me that like it. It feels like I'm doing something, but I'm not actually like progressing that much. But anyway, um,
Well,
I
how
guess
old are you?
I'm 28.
Well, pal,
Yeah,
you got 60 more years to figure it out. So, you know what?
yeah.
Nobody knows what they're doing at 28. I
Mm,
think the first 40 years of your life, you're still learning. In the
mm,
second 40 years of your life, you're just reaping, you're not sowing anymore.
mm,
So
mm.
chillax, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
are you married?
No, no.
Do you want to get
Yeah.
married?
Yeah, I want to get married, but also
Oh,
there's like trying to find a partner and like how do you
okay.
even
Okay.
yeah.
So I think there's a lot of similarity between, marriage and your perfect career. Like,
Mm,
so, do you just decide one day, I'm going to get married? So, God, I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet a woman. I'm going to marry her. Like, I have a schedule. I got to get on this schedule. I got to get
mm,
married.
yeah.
No, you sample a lot and you date around. And then someday you hope you meet that perfect person for you. But,
Mm,
it, you cannot force some things. You got to sample. You got to pay the price.
mm.
So chillax.
Yeah, because people say that you gotta try what was that? I heard Gary V say like you gotta try a lot of different things to find out what you
Yeah.
like. And yeah, it's like but then so you don't recommend like I gotta get married by 30, like get some kind of job by 30. That's not like unnecessary pressure on yourself, right? Like
I
yeah.
not I don't I think that's crazy because I
Mm,
think you should get married when you meet the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Even that
mm,
is only 50-50 probability. So I don't know
mm.
how you set a schedule for that. Now, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I'm not saying you
Mm,
shouldn't have goals. Everybody should
mm,
have goals, but there's some things you just cannot put a timeline to. So, do a lot of sampling, whether it's
mm,
dating or careers, and then
mm,
it's very, as Steve Jobs said in his not his podcast, as Steve Jobs said in his commencement address,
mm,
you can only connect the dots looking backwards. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. So,
mm,
um,
mm.
I think,
Yeah.
I can say this because I'm Asian and you're Asian. I think it's because we're
Yeah.
Asian. We got this thing
Yeah.
that, we got to like tiger moms and tiger
Yeah.
dads and
It's
they got
it's
to get
also
it all
because
figured out.
my parents are putting pressure on getting married. Like I'm just sitting at home making social media because I would try to be an influencer, but I found it extremely hard. So like now I'm looking, should I do coding? Should I get into like venture capital? Like because maybe because I was pretty smart academically, but I'm not the smartest. So it's one of those things
You know
where
what? Let me
yeah.
tell you something. You don't have to be the smartest to be the most successful. You don't have to be the
Mm,
smartest to be the
mm,
happiest either. You just have
mm,
to find something you like to do and you're good at. I mean,
mm,
listen, I mean, my parents wanted me to go to law school, right? So I went to law school after college and I quit after 2 weeks. And
mm,
that was like a major shock to the system. I had never quit anything in my life before. And, I'm like,
yeah.
2,000 years of my family worked to get me into law school and I quit after 2 weeks. I mean, what kind of a loser am I? And
Mm,
now I look back and, that happened when I was, I don't know, 22 or something. And now I'm 70 and I look back, I say, thank God I quit law school. I mean,
mm,
So
yeah,
you never know. I'm just,
yeah,
I mean, it's one thing if you're just like sitting around smoking marijuana all day. Okay, that's
mm,
one thing, but just stay in the game, man. Just stay in the game.
yeah. Just try a lot of different things. Um, I guess,
You probably don't want my parenting advice.
or is your parent? I don't have kids though, but do you want to share that? Because I don't know what else that. Yeah, yeah. Do you have parenting advice? I mean, it's
No, no,
mostly. I
I'm
think it's most.
giving you parenting advice.
You're giving me parent. Okay, fair enough. Um, yeah, because I'm still confused. Like, because I would have thought, because as a kid, you might have think, oh, 25 just people get married, but I'm like 28 now. I'm still like just as confused. Anyway,
You know
but
what? I mean, people who got married at 25, God bless them. I mean,
hmm,
you know, I mean, if all your friends got married at 25 and bought Mercedes, would you do that too? I mean,
hmm. Yeah, I don't think I would, but I went to one of those. It's also like was like comparisons, like the Thief of Joy, and um, I did go to a school where everyone's like doing banking and consulting, but I don't think that's like my passion though. That's the thing. But
it's
yeah,
not my passions at all.
mm,
I don't think consultants, they don't, they, they tell people what to do having never
mm.
done it.
Yes, that I don't like that either. But my friend was a consultant, and yeah, but anyway, it's yeah, that's not it's generally a good thing. But I think it's better. I guess the venture capitalist has entrepreneurial experience. That makes more sense. But you say most of
Yeah,
them don't.
well, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know there was so many career venture capitalists like if without having started the company. But anyway,
I mean,
um,
and that makes no sense. I mean, that may
mm,
that would be like, oh, I want to be a brain surgeon, but I never operated on a brain. But
yeah,
I've been watching the operation room for like, 2 years. I'm ready to cut open your head.
mm, yeah. I guess it's also like it's something completely. It's like reading about basketball versus playing it. It's completely different. Like I guess, yeah. Um, I- would you recommend like moving to the US if I'm from England? Because England is not. I wouldn't say like it's very exciting. It's just random. I don't know what else that has, but yeah.
Uh, well, I mean, it kind of depends on what you want to do, right? I mean,
Mm,
if you want to, I would make the case that if you want to make movies, you move to LA. If you want to start a tech company, you move to Silicon Valley. But I will
mm,
tell you that, yeah, there are many factors that cause the success of a tech company. And being in Silicon Valley is helpful, but it is not sufficient,
mm,
nor is it necessary. You can start a tech company almost any place that has good internet access. I,
mm,
and And to think that, you get on a plane, you land at SFO, and all of a sudden the streets are lined with gold, and you're going to be a successful tech entrepreneur. You're going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg. I hate to tell you, but if that were true, more people would be flying to San Francisco. I mean, it's helpful, but it is not necessary nor sufficient.
mm. So like, because one of the advice is like you should work for someone you want to be like, or like you should join a startup because you learn more than joining a corporate. Would you recommend any of those? Like, it's kind of hard to work for someone you want to be like though, because how do you decide who you want to be like? But
Well, that's why you shouldn't
yeah,
work for a lot of people. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
you don't know. You just have to collect a lot of data. And
mm,
I mean, you're talking to a guy who quit law school, went into the jewelry business, and ended up
yeah,
in software, right? So
yeah,
you wouldn't exactly say, oh, guy, when you were 18, you had this plan and you said, okay, I'm going to end up in tech. And to end up in tech, I'm going to major in psychology, and then I'm
mm,
going to go to law school for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to get an MBA in psychology, and then I'm going to go work for a jewelry manufacturing company. And all of that is so that I can work for Apple. That makes no
mm,
sense whatsoever. None
mm.
whatsoever.
So it's like that graph that It's like squiggly lines where you go up, but you don't know where to
I
go. Yeah.
I think to say that it's squiggly lines
Yeah.
would be overly positive.
Yeah. Yeah. S someone here asks what makes a company sufficient, but I don't know. I don't get what they're asking you, but anyway.
What makes a company sufficient?
Yeah, it's just someone in my live chat asking me that, but that's their question. But
What do you think they mean by sufficient?
I asked them, dude, I don't know. Maybe because I think you used the word sufficient before, and then I don't know what they're asking. Oh no, I guess what else did I ask? Like yeah, like how do you work for some? Do you recommend that advice? Because Gary said you should work for someone you want to become, but how do you even get access to someone you want to become, though? Anyway.
Well, uh, let me translate what Gary's saying. Gary's
Yeah.
saying that in order to get true industry insight and expertise, you should work for a person in a position like you
Mm.
think you want. So
Ah.
if you want to be a podcaster, go work for a
Mm.
podcaster. If you want to be
Mm.
a, CEO of a software company, go be the chief of staff of software company executive, or if you want to be e-commerce, go to work for a executive at Amazon and learn what they truly do. Now, as you point out, yeah, everybody would love to have been the chief of staff of Jeff Bezos, right? But he only had one. And so, you know,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
only, guess what? There's only 500 Fortune 500 CEOs. That means there's only 500 chief of staffs. That's a small pool. So I
Mm.
think the spirit is true, and it's a good idea. I think the numbers are very difficult, but I would
Mm.
say that, if you think you're interested in e-commerce, guess what? Go work for an e-commerce company. You don't
Mm.
have to be chief of staff to the CEO. Just go work for an e-commerce company. And you may think it's all like, oh, I just got to do A/B testing on my homepage, and then thousands of people are going to click on this, and then they're going to buy it, and it's so easy to fulfill, and there's hardly any returns, and there's no breakage, and nobody ever tries to beat the system. And then you're going to go work for Amazon. You're going to say, holy shit. I mean, like, our drivers are stealing from us. The packages are being stolen from the porches. People call us up saying, my Amazon account says it was delivered. It's not on my porch. Or, I bought this camera for 10 grand, and I opened it, didn't work. I want to send it back. And you might learn that e-commerce ain't all it's cracked up to be. But you would not know that just by reading about it, right? You gotta go
Mm.
serve on the front line.
Mm. We gotta try it out. So do you have any job? I'm basically asking about jobs because I'm in that phase where I'm trying to find the right career, but um,
Everybody's trying to find the right career.
yeah,
Everybody. The people
everybody,
who
yeah.
say they found the right career, yeah, I mean, they're like a very tiny minority. I mean, how many people do you know of any age that you say, are
Mm.
you in the right career? How many would say,
Mm.
absolutely, yes, I'm perfectly happy where I am?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's a high percentage.
Mm. Yeah, it must be a very
I'm 70
small.
years old. I'm still searching for my perfect career.
Ah, so it's like a forever search. Hmm. Because I feel like my
It
parents
is.
still haven't. Yeah, yeah. I still haven't
The
found it,
search
but
is the
yeah.
reward.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Um. I don't know what. We've also got two. I don't know what. So this meeting, they seem to have only have 40 minutes. But anyway, so they're saying like before the question they're asking is like how do you make it survive, continuous growth, achieve the goals out for it? That's their question. I think they were asking maybe how do you make a company survive, but I guess profitability. Anyway,
Well, I mean,
I
you
yeah.
know, this sounds kind of an insult, but the way you make a company survive is you provide something people want and are willing to pay for. I mean, it's not
Mm,
rocket science. Now, it's
mm.
not rocket science to
Oh,
understand that's what you got to do, but it is rocket science and a lot of luck to actually do it.
Mm.
So it's like,
How do you
yeah,
spot opportunities then? Like, because Gary Vee is clearly very good at that, but I don't feel like I have that skill, or at least I'm not training on that skill to like spot. Because some people are good at spotting opportunities before
well,
it
okay,
happens.
I'll give you
Yeah.
several paths to that. And that I discuss in my book, Think Remarkable. So,
Mm,
one path is you make the product that you want to use, and then you hope that you're not a psychopath and you're the only person who wants to use it, right? So
mm,
Steve Wozniak made the Apple One because he wanted to use the Apple One. Luckily, there was more than one person who wanted to use the Apple One, and that's why
mm,
Apple is $1 trillion company today. So that's one path. Another path is you work backwards from the customer. So instead of doing what you like to do, you see what the customer needs, and then you do whatever the customer wants, not necessarily what you want, right? And so, I talked to an entrepreneur today, and he tells me that, oh, we want to be the best online ad marketplace for travelers. And to do that, he has this tool to help travelers